Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, my name is Megan. I'm a small business owner and on this channel I pursue my curiosities, and this video is the fruit of that pursuit. Now this one's going to be a little bit more casual because I'm just going to show you all of the miscellaneous stationery and notebook related things that I've been collecting over the course of this summer and fall. Gone a little bit notebook crazy ever since kind of cracking the code on my notebook system. So just to bring you up to speed on that, I basically have a 4 to 5-ish notebook system. It's not as crazy as it sounds. It doesn't get out of hand. These two are less in rotation. This is creative writing, and this is now like a targeted commonplace dumping ground for neurodivergent / psychological. That gets less consistent use than these 4 notebooks. Last time I talked about the diary, but more specifically the commonplace book. These I put together, and this one's full up, but I just haven't quite started the next one yet, so we're leaving those together. And then this is my absolute daily planner, and I pair it with this notebook this is like truly brain dumping ideas, a lot more unstructured thought collection. And then this is the Hobinichi Techo. This is a 2024. Here's how thick it is, and I do paste a decent amount of things in here. I've gone this whole time without a cover, and we're in October now. So this is where the daily planning happens. I have a different video where I talked about my pencil board. We'll get into all that later. I just wanted to give you this initial overview because that informs the things that I've purchased from Muji, Yoseka Stationery, Hobinichi via Yoseka Stationery, and some of the other kind of fun things that I couldn't resist while recently being in New York. So all that exposition aside, let's get into the fun stuff, the stationery haul. So first up, this is everything that came from Yoseka Stationery. Came with a nice little card, and then they did give a bunch of these stickers. I got these really beautiful washi tapes. My washi collection so far has been your pretty typical traditional washi. This size. This is a bit of a spoiler for a later get, but I got this in New York, and it looks like trees if you're not paying attention, but it's actually broccoli. And these ones I was really excited about, so let's just kind of open them on camera because I've kind of been holding off on getting into them because I feel like this one's going to be so gorgeous. All right, that's kind of fun. I'll keep that. Okay, I needed a knife for this. I actually just bent my nail back while trying to just wiggle this out without cutting anything. So if you see some blood pooling, that's what that's from. So this is a really beautiful kind of semi-sheer washi tape. And look at that. It's like a little bit transparent. It really very much goes in theme with the kind of things that I like to use. Now I'll be a little bit more careful while opening up this one and actually help myself out. Ouch. Maybe because that one was it's like it was perfectly tubed in there. I don't know how I just did that, but oh well. This one was much easier. Is stationery themed, so it's got little markers and tiny sayings and paper clips and wax seals and just really cute inspired things. So love that. And of course, part of that, the motivation for that was to get me to the order minimum for free shipping. The main get was the Hobinichi Techo planner for 2025 because I'm going to stick with this system. I've been able to commit to it, using it like nearly every day. So excited about continuing on into next year. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it's been great with all the add-ons that I've done because one main reason for even having extra notebooks, aside from just the planner. Oh, cute. Oh yeah, I've been seeing these circulating. Wow. Oh my gosh. See, what a fun way to incorporate QR codes if you need things to be scanned. That's really fun. beautiful paper, and I love this little key design. Yeah, the motivation for using this in tandem with other notebooks is partly because there's only a few pages in the back for loose notes. And oh my gosh, it looks like there's even fewer than usual. I think my other one has even more than that. So that might kind of change my process a little bit, but they really only leave a few blanks in the back. Probably because a lot of people don't use them. So looks like that's shorter. Everything else looks pretty similar. I haven't gone over all the changes of Hobinichi, but I trusted the process. And if you want to look into that, I can guarantee that Yoseka Stationery has, they always compare the previous planners, and they do really thorough and excellent comparisons. And they're actually based in New York. So this was a notebook of curiosity. I think I saw it first on Amazon, and I was just kind of curious about it. The B6 size, the flip up. So this could be a gift for somebody, but if I'm feeling naughty, I might keep it for myself. But I really quite like the size of this, and we'll see how it gets used, but it would probably remain at my desk or be more of a backpack notebook. And it's nice, this is more of a plastic, and it won't get as stained up or dirty as ones that are front and back like this. You know, you lay this down on something sticky and there will be a ghost of that stickiness. So excited to try this out. It feels really great, and it's another Japanese stationery product. I don't even know how to say this. Mimosine? Something like that. And last up for Yoseka Stationery is a small version of a different notebook that I've fallen in love with, but I've almost been too scared to use because I want to use it for a very specific purpose. Right now, I'm a little all over the place with life and having to shift my priorities, but I'll get back into that notebook once I can put my energy into more creative things with that project. But I love the notebook so much, I got it in New York, and I'll show you it in a minute, that I got the small version. This is the Logical Prime notebook series. They're just so, I love how they laid out these pages. It's very good for kind of like indexing things, date contingent things. If you want to keep certain ideas organized and time map them, little bit more organized than a brain dump, but not so rigid as like a day planner. There's still flexibility. I love that they have this gap in here so that it's a little bit more comfortable to write on top of. And then, you know, the rings make it lay flat really great. And this is a really great size. And I'll go ahead and show you the larger format one that made me want to get the smaller one. So I went to New York, and I was at McNally Jackson, and they had a whole section in the front for goods for the study. And I've been to a different smaller goods for the study in Soho. So if you like pens especially, they have a really comprehensive selection there, but they also have great notebooks and things. I saw this notebook, and I've just been like having a green moment. This is like the color of my couch, and just, I've been loving green. Green's made a lot of sense for me. And funnily enough, you know, I laid this on something sticky and then I had to scrape it off. They had their stationery organized by color, so it's just like a whole table of green things. So I was mesmerized, to say the least. And that's when I also got these really cute washi tapes. And I've been a broccoli girl. It was like my favorite food when I was 4, funnily enough. And I don't have it as much now as I used to, but it's still just, I found it so funny that they had a broccoli washi tape. So I got that from the goods for the study, as well as this notebook. So nothing too crazy. I was pretty good at that store, but that was not my first stationery purchase on this trip. So I'm now into this Logical Prime notebook as well. I'm going to try it out, and if I don't get into this one in the next couple months, I might be really nice and gift that. One of these notebooks will be a gift. I'm just trying to decide which one, and I'm also trying to decide if the person I'm going to give it to will be consistent in one notebook to like earn it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say I've been burned by gifting people notebooks, but when you start getting into like nicer stationery, you want to see that someone actually has a habit of using it and that it'll be loved. I'm going to break up the notebooks with something that's pretty fun. I saw a YouTube short of all things about this Casey rubber stamps in New York, and the guy just seems like so interesting, and the space is so weird and funny and classic, so I just had to go. And this is the pamphlet that you can get from him. He collects stamp references from all over all sorts of print materials, and he makes custom rubber stamps as well. Crazy stuff. There's like Baphomet, you know, you got whales, you got Eiffel Towers, there's New York related stuff. So I definitely recommend checking this out. It's just so cool, and I was happy to support a small business. Look, I just got this on there. I gotta put this somewhere better. And yeah, so I had gone to KC Rubber Stamps, and okay, sorry, slight tangent. That's not the only place I got stamps recently. And granted, this is over the course of like a couple months. So from KC Rubber Stamps, I got this pointer finger stamp, which has been on my list for like 2 years. And there ended up being also this one of, you know, a quill writing. And they're just like little rubber stamps on the back. And then also he had one of these is one of his design, or one of the designs. So I grabbed this as well. Conveniently, all the stamps that I've gotten have fit into this. It just depends on how you arrange them. And I'll mess with that later. But these other arrow stamps I just got from Joann Fabrics. I was searching around for a stamp pad because all my stamp, I don't remember how I had that in there. All my stamps that I've had historically are from when I was a kid. And I have like one black stamp pad at the office that I use. But because I've been into brown and like off black colors, I wanted a nearly black, this one's espresso truffle colored ink pad. So those look really great. And then while I was there, I saw these other ones and I thought they were quite interesting. All set for stamps and ink. I don't know if you'd want me to swatch these. Maybe I'll do that next time. But for right now, I want to keep it moving to the last source of my hauling. Well, actually, okay, there's two. One is Muji, and then actually an interesting Amazon find. So let's start with post-it notes from Muji. So I went a little crazy on Muji post-it notes because I finally figured out exactly my system for using these, and I wanted to stock up on the ones that were the right size and a nice look. American brands for post-it notes are very fluorescent, just not my vibe overall, or it's a little too harsh for the look that I'm going for. Let's start with this one. This is the perfect size post-it for my pencil board. And I talked about my pencil board more in a previous video, but basically I made a custom, it's not really a pencil board, it's more of a bookmark. I made this so that I can lay out post-it notes and layer under things for my weekly to-dos, my monthly to-dos, and now actually on the reverse, I've been doing kind of like seasonal things or kind of like wish list items. Lately it's been things I want to film. You know, it'd be great to say, it's autumn, I want to go apple picking one weekend. You know, I need to remember to like, it's weather contingent. I can't really pencil it in necessarily, but it's good to have some place where you're continually reminded of something you want to do over the course of a season. Maybe it's like your Christmas, people you shop for Christmas, you kind of want to think about that ahead of time. So pretty much any post-it will fit on the back to do that. But I had been cutting down this size post-it note, cutting, you know, the bottom off, sticking the tab elsewhere to use at a later date for something else. But this is actually the perfect size, so I was really pleased to have that. And then the other thing that I do, I have continued to do vertical ones, and that's where this could be cut in half and spread apart, or you can just use different dimension post-its. So that's a little bit too much information, but I designed this bookmark to be exactly small enough to nestle into the Hobinichi without, you know, going over the edges so that it doesn't get demolished when you're putting it in and out of things. So if you guys like this pencil board design, I know it's so simple, but the biggest task of getting it right is the overall dimensions and then corresponding it with some standard post-it note sizes, because this section, or doing them 2x2, works really well with a lot of standard post-it note sizes. But this standard post-it note size, 2x2, works quite well down here. So you don't have to cut these down at all. I see 2x2. This is, I think, like 1.5 inches wide and 2 inches long, or maybe 1 inch by 2 inches. And yeah, there's tons of post-it note providers that make them that size. But I've been loving this paper for up here and not having to cut them down. And then under here I have the washi tape where I printed out my like happens every kind of week things. And you know, I talk more about that in the other video. So these ones are 75 millimeters by 50 millimeters, and that's really great for this pencil board size. I was thinking about, and I want to know if it's like worthwhile, but I was thinking about making this scaled up and down for a bunch of different standard notebook sizes and doing that as a bit of a downloadable. If I did this in like a couple colorways and a couple different sizes and made it, you know, I wouldn't want to do it for completely free, but if I made it like a pretty affordable downloadable and you'd be able to get just like every size, every colorway in one fell swoop, let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, and I will do that because this was actually quite a bit of trial and error and tweaking to make something so simple. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, and I'll go ahead and do that because it's a several hours project. So couldn't resist some of the other ones. I already had some of these, so I bought some more to have backup. And then I like this like muted gray. It kind of goes better with this than the yellow does. I mean, I know it's kind of nice to have contrast sometimes, helps things pop, but it just depends on the vibe you're going for. And then I couldn't resist. I thought these were so fun. They looked like a little manila envelope, and actually they got a couple different color ranges in here. So not totally sure where I'll use these yet, but it could be quite fun. And then these, I've heard people call these like tracing sheet Post-its. And it did give me the idea that I should just start cutting up tracing paper and pasting it on top of things just for kind of like a cool glass look. Either way, these are just like a thin pad of semi-transparent Post-its. So, you know, another couldn't quite resist. Looked beautiful and fun. Nothing too crazy. So that's our Post-it notes. And then last up of all these stationery things from Muji is went a little crazy on notebooks. And, you know, some of these are just for fun, like these two. I mean, especially this one. I just wanted to see, it's just so cute. You know, it's nice to have a tearaway notebook, maybe just for messing around. I love that these Japanese stationery brands don't do the darkest lines possible. They do really nice grays and muted tones. So it's just like a little softer of a look, and then it helps it be more legible with your writing on top of it. This was great. I didn't want to pass it up because it's a passport size, which nestles nicely into the A6. So if you're lassoing them together, like I often am with a elastic, those nestle together quite well. And this one has a grid instead of a dot or line. And I just have really been digging my grid notebook. So having this in the arsenal, we'll see what comes of this. It could be a nice little miniature commonplace book. It could be a place to collect just about anything. And one major task of this year is figuring out what's going to be my next diary. And I'm saying diary because I'm trying to be technically correct. I call it a journal in real life, but a journal tends to be more factual, and a diary tends to be more feelings, miscellaneous thoughts, stuff that could just kind of be less objective. It's very much filtered through your perception. So I like generally the size of this journal, but I am just kind of so over how long it is. It takes a very long time to fill it up, so I've been skipping lines. And then also the dot grid, I just don't like the dots for just writing. I'm not doodling in this. Hopefully I get back into it, but when I'm in this, I'm like using my words. And so I really only just need mostly lines. I do like the look of grid though. And what's been awesome, Muji has these kind of hybrid notebooks that I've been really excited about. I was really excited to get this, and I'm glad I did because I think at the time I hadn't gotten into this notebook yet, and I had bought it, and I was looking at this one in the store, and I thought, man, I feel like I bought something just like this recently, but I can't totally tell, and I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to get it anyways because it looks longer, which was right, but it's also a different size. So I don't know exactly what this size is. I'll put on screen what the size is, but this one is obviously your classic A6 size, and that's the size of the Hobinichi planner, and A6 is like my jurisdiction. Maybe I'll just be your A6 planner girl going forward. But this is a great one because they have lines left to right and then a really fine grid up and down. And I have loved this hybrid experience. This is like exactly for my needs. For someone who's mostly writing words, but every so often I'm designing interfaces, charting things out, and I need some extra grids and something to ground what I'm working on. So what I'm preferring about this compared to the journal that I've been working in is it's shorter. It's got fewer pages overall. This has 80 pages. I think this has 200 pages. And then this has that hybrid style of really fine dots going up and down, and then the lines going left and right. So I have a feeling that this will be my new journal, and going forward I will be having pocket notebooks sitting on top of it, and I'll have to get an elastic to put them together, but I think that'll be really great. And then of course the A6 also works with passport size. Works well if you're gonna, double them up like I do, because I just think it's nice, and then it doesn't get out of hand, because I've watched a lot of Park Notes and I like his channel, but he is like so systematic with categorizing his different notebooks and where things go, and I think most people probably aren't going to do that. Most people, their life is probably divided up between maybe passions, personal thoughts, and work, and this is very compatible with that. And then so this is another kind of really great hybrid, and I almost wish they had this paper, this interior style in this format, because this one's a little thinner. It's just not as substantial as this one, but this one has just inferred lines, which is so great. So if you are going to, I think this one could be a killer commonplace notebook if you don't quite want to spring for the field notes ones, because they are arguably overpriced. But for commonplacing, having this inferred line to help guide you to making the top and bottom of your margin, I think is so great. So if you want an affordable and really versatile starting commonplace notebook that's super cheap, I'm pretty sure this notebook lands around the $3 mark, so it's a really great starting point, and it's just 30 pages, so not too intimidating to fill up. It's even fewer pages than this, but of course you get a little bit more room to work within. So definitely recommend this if you want to start doing those margins, and if you're not feeling the dot grid. I know people really like the dots, but I'm in my graph grid era, or insinuated graph. So any of these would really make great commonplace notebooks if these field notes ones or ones of this size don't quite work for you. I'm going to clear this off and then show you one more bonus thing that's a little, a little bit different, and you might find it useful as well. Last up is this beautiful wool B6 size binder, and I did customize it a little bit. It comes from, I got it from Amazon, and it comes with these pages pre-filled in. They're not lined, it's just these blank pages that you can kind of do anything you want with. I took quite a few of them out to make room for this, and I wanted something that could fit cards. So this is a really great idea if you want to keep business card contacts, if you literally work with trading cards or something, or if you have, basically for me, I wanted to compile ideas into index things that are usually online. So I'll give you a little teaser because you've gotten to the end of the video, and thank you for that. But this is my closet binder, and what I've done is I've downloaded images from Pinterest of outfits that I can feasibly recreate with things that I already own. These aren't photos of me or things that I've taken or the exact pieces, but white blouse, trench coat, medium colored jeans, black leather pants, trench coat, hat, just this kind of stuff. So it has actually been so helpful for me when getting dressed in the morning, and it's I'm looking at my clothes and somehow I can't picture it. This helps reduce the decision fatigue. And even if some images are repetitive, it just kind of jogs my brain and helps me realize all the different ways that I can wear this same kind of plaid blazer in a more dressed up way, in a more dressed down way. And it has honestly been very helpful for me. The kind of dream, and it's a bit of a kind of a silly or big project, but the dream is to have most of my shoes and most of my clothing types actually saved and printed out so that I can pack this way and I can plan outfits and I can actually use the exact products that I have in these sleeves and each quadrant of this would be like an outfit that I'm planning. It's like I'd put shoes here, I'd put the pair of jeans that I plan to bring here, the top here, whatever. And I would really like to do that, but you know, a lot of my clothes are thrifted. But as I do buy new clothes, I just kind of have been making a point, and if you want to do this too, this is the time to start. When you buy something new, if you buy it from online, save the picture, save it to a folder on your computer, and eventually you'll have like a pretty good stockpile, and you can take pictures of the things that you can't download a picture from, or just, you know, if it's a black top, like you don't need the exact photo of the one that you have. You can kind of just find something online that looks similar and just save it as a reference. The point of this is to jog your memory and help you outfit plan, because for me, I want to get better utilization out of my wardrobe. And since like being diagnosed as neurodivergent, it's helped me realize kind of like why my brain kind of farts in the morning and why it can be challenging for me to put together clothes. And because I love clothes, I want to get good utilization out of them. So, you know, a lot of people I know, they dress like repetitively and for comfort. And I wish I could be that person, but I can't. I really like clothes and I want to use them. So this is my way of working around that, is on the days where I do want to kind of express myself, or on days where I want to achieve a certain look, I go through this, and this can be really helpful, and it has been really helpful for getting dressed in a pinch. So yeah, that's the last thing on the list. If you're curious about this, if you want to see a full page through of what I've gotten here, and then if you want to see how this grows and evolves, and hear about how it works out when I do pack next for a trip, and if I'm able to like index a good amount of my wardrobe, then let me know, because this has already been so useful and I'm not even indexing everything I have. And one thing too, that could be a benefit of this is it can help curb your shopping. It can even help if you don't like having too much clutter around and you put things away for different seasons. You could put, you know, a divider in between, and then the whole back can be stuff that you've put in a bin downstairs in storage. So it can be a great way of like remembering what you have, so that you accidentally don't buy a duplicate, or so that you can reference just like what you've stored away and something that you can go and grab. Like, I think that could be especially useful for things like formal wear, stuff that you don't have out very often, and things that you want to remember that you have, so that the next time you have an event, you don't think, oh, I need to go buy something. You can just say, oh, wait, I actually have this dress stored away somewhere out of sight, or even just like under the bed. You know, when you have ADHD or issues with memory, just having this could just be a little bit revolutionary. So think of that for anything you have. I mean, if you have craft supplies and you want to see at a glance, like, I don't remember if I have gray 100% wool yarn. If you index it in a physical binder that you can kind of have fun paging through, then it's, I don't know, a super worthwhile thing to do. And I like being able to shuffle these things around, being able to like remix it in a way that keeps it fresh. And then this is a designated device, and I'm not going to go on some, you know, I'm not going to open up my phone and get distracted and forget what the heck I was doing. I'm in here to do a specific thing, and when I've done it, I close it up. And that's honestly been very time saving. It's been calming, because I'm very tired of the Pandora's box of opening up my phone with access to the whole World Wide Web. So this is a way to work around that, and it's genuinely been helpful. So no, I'm on a bit of a tangent, but I want to make a video in the near future about dedicated devices and just kind of like reducing the overwhelm that the internet causes. People are kind of talking about that, but I mean, that's like a huge thing about life now versus how life was 20, 30 years ago, is factoring in the mental fatigue and the overwhelm of the internet. And it's probably why a lot of people are struggling more often than they used to in certain ways. Because granted, there are a lot of ways the internet is super helpful and makes life easier. So bit of a double-edged sword, but that's enough for today. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you thought about all this stuff. Let me know if you have any questions about use cases of these things, and check back on my other videos for how I've been using my notebooks. I'll continue showing you other ways that I do, so long as it's useful and informative. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.